the Sedgwick County Commission, and multiple members of our local, state, and federal levels of government, including Governor Laura Kelly. First, I want to once again express my deepest condolences for those directly impacted by this tragedy and to our entire community, as Wichitans, as Kansans, and as Americans. We grieve this loss together, and we grieve deeply. But in this dark time, the light can be found in people raising their hand, showing up, and offering help. And I want to say thank you to many of the individuals in our community who donated water, donated food, and trying to make it comfortable for those who are trying to report about this tragedy from our community, as well as those who have friends and families affected. I am really grateful to the kindness of Wichita. We've had donations, again, from all across the city, so again, thank you. We also have grief assistance that Sedgwick County is providing, and there will be further information regarding that in the coming hours. That is who Wichita is. For those that don't know Wichita, Kansas is the air capital. It's a community built on kindness, built on being together and working together. And we have an opportunity to use our words for comfort. We can use our actions towards helping and uplifting one another. And here in our community, we unite. And you saw that in our community-wide prayer at noon today. You saw faiths from all across the spectrum. You saw people of all races, of all backgrounds, because Wichita is very diverse, and I'm proud to come from this community. This is my community. I've grown up here, and I'm proud to be a Wichitan. And I'm proud that this community is coming together in a time like this, in a tragic event that should unite us all to remember that life is precious. So at this time, I would like to invite Kansas Governor Laura Kelly to provide remarks.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, everybody. I really do appreciate all of your being here. It is very important that the people who have been affected by this tragedy know that they've got folks on the ground working on their behalf. I have been incredibly impressed with the response of the mayor's office, our first responders here, the Red Cross, and a number of other nonprofit groups that have really gathered together to be as responsive as is humanly possible to meet the needs of those who've been impacted by this incredible tragedy. So I'd also like to reassure people that we are in constant communication with our federal partners. Both the mayor and I have been on the phone constantly since last night with representatives from the National Transportation Safety Board, from the governors of Virginia and Maryland, and all sorts of other folks who are involved with this tragedy. And I can assure you that they are working as hard and as fast as they possibly can. I mean, they had first responders from multiple jurisdictions respond last night, all through the night, first for the rescue and then for the recovery operations. So what can be done is being done. I know that the Red Cross has set up a center in Bethesda, Maryland, I believe at the Hyatt Regency, for folks who are on that end of this tragedy, and that we have the Red Cross set up here at Eisenhower Terminal. So there are resources available for people. The other thing we would like is American Airlines is responsible for notifying the families of the folks who perished in this plane crash. They would like it very much if you think you might know somebody, if you think a friend of yours, a family member, or someone else was on that plane, please contact American Airlines, and let me give you their number. It is 1-800-679-8215. Let me repeat that. 800-679-8215. If you have any suspicion that you knew somebody on that plane, please call that number. And I also like to thank the press for being here in such force. You know, you are the way we are able to communicate with people and to reassure them that people have their backs and are on watch, and that there are resources available for them. So thank you all very much for being here.
Thank you again, Governor Kelly. Really appreciate, again, that constant communication we've received from the governor's office, as well as the offices of our federal partners, including Senator Moran, Senator Marshall, Congressman Estes, and I also had a phone call from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. So I'm, again, very appreciative that people are reaching out. My colleagues as mayors all across the United States have been in constant contact with me. Friends that just know or have flown to Wichita, have visited this community, have been sending well wishes and prayers to all of us, and I'm very grateful that people are reaching out to all of us. But I ask that each of those prayers really go to the individuals who were on that flight, to the families who were on that flight, to the first responders in Washington, D.C. who are helping with the recovery efforts, and truly prayers for our entire greater Wichita and Kansas community. I would like to invite our representative for Senator Roger Marshall to please say a few words.
Good afternoon. I'm Kenya Cox, District Director for U.S. Senator Marshall. Senator Marshall is continuing to work with our federal delegation to provide real-time information to both our state and local leadership as it becomes available. Senator Marshall issued the following statement this afternoon. As we continue to process this horrible tragedy, my office stands ready to assist the families, friends, and colleagues of those who lost loved ones. My staff and I remain in contact with Mayor Wu, with airport leadership, the NTSB staff, and as we learn more about the accident, we will continue to provide those details. My prayers continue to be with the families and the entire Wichita, Kansas community as we recover from this tragedy. Thank you.
As I mentioned, our Wichita community is very unique. We have a lot of wonderful partners that come together in a time like this. Whether you see, again, the water, the coffee, this community is a helpful community. And one of those helpful neighbors is the Wichita Community Foundation. I would like to invite Shelley Pritchard from the Wichita Community Foundation to discuss a new resource they have set up for families impacted by this tragedy.
Good afternoon. As Mayor Wu said, I'm Shelley Pritchard at the Wichita Foundation, and this is Courtney Bankston, our Chief Strategy Officer. We don't normally dress like this. We literally just got off a plane at our fabulous airport and ran over here so we could help share this news. So we have been working with a very wide variety of community partners, and we've established a fund called ICT-together.org. There's links on our website. There'll be a lot of links. Early last night, we started having people reach out to us to find out how they could help, how they could contribute, and what it would look like. So this will be used for crisis remediation, help with mental health. We don't know yet what that will be, but we invite the community, if you are feeling this pain the way many of us are, that if this is a way that you'd like to be a part of that, we'd invite you to join that. And Courtney will tell you about some of the other folks we're working with in D.C.
Thanks, Shelley. Good afternoon. We are very pleased to be in conversation with a lot of local partners, as well as people that were affected